Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, happy Vlogmas. Today I wanted to talk about Goodreads. More specifically, I want to talk about the currently reading shelf and how mine is really just a giant lie. As of right exactly this moment, on my Goodreads currently reading shelf are 25 books. I am definitely not currently reading 25 books though. And the reason for this is if there's a book that I don't finish and I have to return to the library, or I get halfway through a book and then I get distracted by another one, I don't necessarily take it off that list. It just kind of lives there in this weird limbo. So today I wanted to go through my list and let you know what I'm actually reading on that list, and then figure out the ones that I should probably be deleting, and then kind of give you the reason why. Now obviously the books at the top of the list are more likely to be the books that I am still reading, and yes, I am still reading quite a few of the ones at the top of my current list. At the top of the list is Wonder Woman, and I just started reading this about 5 minutes before filming, and yes, it is absolutely great, and you should read it, and I'm probably going to be done really, really soon. Under that I have Hungry Ghost Festival by Jen Campbell. This is a collection of poetry by her. She is also a YouTuber, and I've really enjoyed 2 of her non-fiction works, and I thought it was time to actually read some of her poetry. I actually just got it in the post, and she signed it to me, which was super nice of her. Below that I have Binge by Tyler Oakley. I'm still reading it. I'm actually listening to it as an audiobook. Tyler's not a YouTube personality that I've actually watched a lot of. I know who he is, but I'm finding that I'm really getting to know him through this book, which is really interesting because this book is shelved in the 306s and not where biographies are shelved, so that just reminds me that I want to figure out what the difference between 306s and biographies are. But that's just me really wanting to learn the Dewey Decimal System, which is something that I'm going to be doing very, very soon. If I Were a Girl by Meredith Russo, I am currently still reading this. I'm actually buddy reading this with a friend of mine. We get together and we read chapters back and forth. It's a very slow process kind of because our schedules conflict a little bit, especially because I'm working most of the days this month. But we're both really enjoying it and really enjoying a lot of the characters in it. Word Warriors, yes, I am still reading this. This is a poetry anthology about spoken word poets. I've only gotten past about the first poet so far because I was reading it in my tub a couple of weeks ago, but I do intend to keep reading this. I think this is more something I will pick up every once in a while when I feel in the mood for it, rather than something that's narrative and I'll want to get through it rather quickly. The next on my list is The Hobbit. This would technically be a reread, and technically I guess I'm still reading it, but a better description is I'm having it read to me by that same friend with which I'm reading If I Were Your Girl. And because we're reading that one, The Hobbit's gone on the back burner, so hopefully we'll pick that back up after, and we plan to read the 3 Lord of the Rings books after that. And by we, I mean her, to me, because I love when people read to me. Next on the list is The Great Glowing Coils of the Universe. This is the 2nd season of the Welcome to Night Vale podcast, and I've heard it all before, and I am actually super enjoying reading through all of the commentary on these. I just haven't gotten through it because I got distracted by something, but it's still on my bedside table, and I am going to get through the last few podcasts. Now this is the part where we start getting to the books that I haven't touched in quite a while. First one is Black Heart of Jamaica. I picked this one up from the Harry Potter Alliance while I was at VidCon, and I've read a few chapters in a bathtub. Actually, not even my bathtub, my friend Danielle's bathtub in Seattle, and was enjoying it. It's kind of a middle grade type of book, and I just got busy and it's in a bag somewhere, I think, or it's in that stack. I also just move things around, things being books, and then I forget that I'm reading them, so I'll pick it back up, hopefully. The next is Ancillary Justice by Ann Leckie, and I didn't get very far into this one. I do want to give it another chance, but I was reading it while I was traveling to VidCon, and I just didn't really have the time for reading. I couldn't focus on reading very much while I was traveling for some reason, so I just haven't gotten very far through it, and I started getting confused with some of the politics. I'm going to pick it up eventually and give it a fresh read because I was really interested. The next on the list is The Stand by Stephen King. I do love Stephen King, and I haven't read The Stand yet, and that does make me feel kind of ashamed. Back when I tried Audible, this is the book that I got from them, and Audible decided to just take the book out of my library, so I didn't keep listening to it because I actually couldn't, because the service is a little bit terrible. Although I know for a fact that my library does have it on CD, so I could definitely get it on CD or, just actually read it. The next is Haunted by Kelly Armstrong, the 5th of the Women of the Otherworld series. I talked about this a little bit before. I got halfway through this and then went on vacation and didn't want to take the book on vacation because I didn't want it to get accidentally ruined while I was on vacation, and I just forgot to pick it back up. It's actually on the bookshelf right next to me, and I plan on picking it back up, but again, I just keep taking too many books out of the library, and then I forget to pick up the books that are physically in this room. The next on the list is The Drawing of the Three, which is the second in the Dark Tower series, and this was a reread. This was just something I was reading while I was on vacation on my Kobo, so I don't really need to pick it back up, and I should probably just take it off this list because obviously I've read it before. The next is a graphic novel called Omega the Unknown. I got about halfway through it. I do remember I was enjoying it, but not like passionately enjoying it. I was like, yes, this is a thing I can read, but I wasn't super excited about it. One of these days I should just make a stack of the books I'm partway through in the apartment and just finish them. Another one that would go on that finish them list is Seduced by Moonlight, which is the third in the Mary Gentry series by Laurel K. Hamilton. I do still have it, I think. Yeah, okay, it's in a stack of books over there. Again, I likely got sidetracked by something and just haven't picked it back up. This is a running theme through this video, I see. The next has a long title, so I'm gonna look at my phone and read it out. Supergirls, Fashion, Feminism, Fantasy, and the History of Comic Book Heroines. I was enjoying this, but I had to return it to the library, and I think I left it on this list to remind myself that eventually I should read it, but that was about a year ago, so I should either pick it back up or I should take it off my list. Likewise with this next one, The Psychology of Harry Potter, an unauthorized examination of the boy who lived. Again, something interesting, but I had to return it to the library because I wasn't reading it fast enough, and I just haven't picked it back up. The next is The Dragon Reborn, which is the third of the Wheel of Time series, and it got to a point where I was about halfway through it where I was just... There's a lot of description in these books, and I just had to take a little bit of a break, and I meant to take like a one-book break, and now I'm going to have to go back and read at least that whole book again, if not the first two, just to pick back up where I was so I can read the whole series. It just gets weird when things are definitely interesting, but they become like a chore to read them, almost. And you have to be in the certain mindset, and I just wasn't. The next is Petty by Isaac Jordan. I was reading this online, it was going up chapter by chapter, and I just didn't stay current with it. I actually don't even remember where I was reading it. Probably on the author's website, maybe on the author's website. The next is No Plot, No Problem by Chris Beatty, which is basically the NaNoWriMo Bible. It's just about how to succeed at NaNoWriMo, and I've had the book for years. I've only succeeded once, which is fine. And to be fair, I probably actually finished this, but just didn't mark it off. The next is The Land of Invented Languages, and this is just another one of those books where I didn't quite get through it by the time I had to return it to the library, and it's on the list so that one day I'll remember to pick it back up. But besides videos like this, I never go through my currently reading list. These next two are exactly the same, so I'll just do them in rapid fire. The Storytelling Animal, How Stories Make Us Human, and The Rude Story of English. Both of them, picked them up, had to return them. The Artist's Way has actually been sitting on my bedside table for 2 years? 3 years? It was another one of those books where I just had to take a break from reading it, and I just never got back to it, even though it's literally inches from my face as I sleep every night. The Kind Diet by Alicia Silverstone. This is a book that I was reading on my Kobo, and I just don't read on my Kobo very often. And the last one on the list is Vegan Bodybuilding and Fitness by Robert Cheek. This is something I picked up because I wanted to get more into fitness and because I am vegan, but all of it had to do really, really specifically with gaining muscle mass and being a bodybuilder, which makes sense. It is the second word in the title of the book. But I got to a point where I just kind of figured a lot of this information was irrelevant to what I wanted to do. So there you have it. If you check my Goodreads, which is always listed down below, you'll probably notice that my shelf looks different than what it is in this video because I'm going to start deleting things that I have no intention of actually reading. In fact, before I started shooting this video, I had actually deleted Persuasion because I'm not going to finish reading it and it's due back to the library and my book club already talked about it, so I don't need to finish it. How about you? If you use Goodreads, is your currently reading list actually accurate? Let me know down in the comments below. On the way down in the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you, and I will see you tomorrow for more Vlogmas. Bye!